challenge this week against that defense, that offense?
Well, there are multiple offense. They give you a bunch of different looks, new things each week. Quarterback obviously has a strong arm, can throw the ball down the field, got speed at the receiver position. So, I mean, the same challenges that we face every week. We got to line up, be sound. We got to stop the run better. We got to defend against the shots, and make sure we keep things in front of us.
Is it a little easier to accept when it's kind of a broken play at the scramble that's gouging you, or it's not a fundamental thing, or does it not matter?
It doesn't matter. I mean, none of it's easy. I mean, the last 2 weeks against Indiana, the backup quarterback came in and got a 70-some-yard run. We had a missed tackle and lost leverage on that one. It had nothing to do with the scheme or fundamental. I mean, the fundamental was the missed tackle. Last week, it was just a quarterback had like 150 yards on quarterback scrambles. You know, drop back pass, nothing there, and he'd pull off and run. He has some speed, and we got to do a better job of containing a quarterback and being in rush lanes and making sure that in coverage that we have some guys with zone eyes that can come back and help play the quarterback if he starts to take off.
What was your memory of the Penn State game last year and ending on a defensive play?
It was a great game, great atmosphere, hard-fought game on both sides for both teams. We jumped out to a good lead, 17-0. Felt like we were controlling the game. Next thing you know, it's a 17-all game and it's overtime. But I thought it was a great game for us to go into an environment like that as a football team, win that game the way we did. I thought it helped springboard us to a good season as the season went on. But it was a really hard-fought game with two good teams.
You guys were so good at eliminating big plays last year, I think, except for the Cincinnati game. That might have been the aberration last year. Do you feel like it's alarming this year, or do you feel like it's just maybe some, like Bill said earlier, maybe some broken plays, some fluke plays, or are you concerned about it?
No, there's nothing that's happened to us so far this year that's not correctable. Again, against Indiana, the quarterback got out for 70 yards. Again, we missed a tackle. We had guys there. We missed a tackle, and he outran us. He was fast. This past week, the quarterback scrambled a lot. They put in a new quarterback. We had a pretty good. We thought we had an idea of who might be the quarterback, but they put in some new plays to feature the quarterback run game that we hadn't necessarily been ready for or seen on film out of them. So that caught us off guard a little bit. But it wasn't even that. It was the quarterback scrambles when he dropped back to pass, and there was nothing there. He just pulled it down and ran. Those are the things that got us this past week. So it's disappointing. It makes you sick. Statistically, it looks bad, but it's nothing that's not correctable.
And the long pass, was that just broken coverage, maybe some miscommunication
No,
there?
There's no miscommunication, no broken coverage. They had a fast guy at the number 2 position. We were playing a certain technique and thought we'd get help in the middle, and play action pass kind of sucked Tyvis Powell up a little bit, and he was more aggressive than probably wanted him to be, and hit the post down the middle.
Depth at nickel, is that a concern right now, and just can you go through this, your depth situation at the nickelback position?
Depth at all positions is a concern right now, not just at the nickel position. We've got some young players that we've got to continue to develop and improve at all positions, at nickel, at DB, at linebacker, D-line, so we can rotate more guys in there as the season goes on. But right now with Eric Smith potentially being out, we've got concern at nickel. Marshawn Lattimore has done an outstanding job the last couple of weeks. He continues to get better and is our starting nickel. But we have contingency plans if something were to happen. We've got different packages that we can go to and feature different guys. So we'll be okay, but just being a nickel team right now, that is a little concerned with our depth.
Hey Chris, I think 2 of the 3 true freshmen that have played this year, defensive backs. Last year y'all played Damon Webb and Eric Smith, and the year before Von Bell played as a true freshman. Can you just speak to the long-term value of getting guys in right away and what it provides for y'all in the long run?
Yeah, I think anytime a player comes into the program and he's ready to contribute, and you can get him out there, even if it's just on special teams, it adds value for the future seasons for that guy, future snaps. You look at a guy like Garyon Conley, who played primarily special teams last year, played a little bit at corner, but most of his experience was at special teams. It just gave him confidence as he went into this offseason and this season. Eric Smith, Malik Hooker, a couple DBs right now that are getting a lot of reps, not necessarily true freshmen, but they're younger guys that are getting the majority of their reps on special teams. It's going to add confidence to them and their belief in their ability to go out and play winning football for future years down the road.
Eli Apple was the young guy at corner last year. Now he's the veteran.
Yeah.
How has he adapted to that transition? How's he played this year?
I think he's played great. He's had a couple penalties, that you'd like to take back, but he's played aggressive. He's playing with confidence. Love the way he comes to work every single day. He's not getting a lot of action depending on teams. Some teams just flat out stay away from him, to be honest with you. When you watch the film, you can see that's what they're doing, and that's good as long as, you don't necessarily have to be mentioned at corner to be having a good day. As long as your name's not mentioned for the wrong things, and you're doing okay.
And the transition as a leader?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Just Tyvis, Von Bell, Eli, and Gary and Conley are all guys that have been around here for a number of years now. They understand the expectations. They believe in what we're doing and how we do it, and they're providing tremendous leadership for the other guys in the secondary.
Chris, I can't count how many of your guys have said that the goal is to get better and better every week so that they can peak at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
How are they doing from that aspect?
Everything that we ask them to do, they do. They show up every day wanting to get better. They want to work the process of preparation that we have, and that's really the focus. It's not on the outcome of the game. It's about the preparation, and our guys believe in that, and the way they come in and study film, the way they come in and practice, take care of their bodies, take care of their minds. They do everything we ask them to do, so they're doing a great job of that.
You mentioned
guys
Eric.
showed that look with Joey and Adolphus in the middle of the line and Sam and Taekwon on the edges, I think on third down against Maryland. Joey said that was something new for this week. I guess in the name of wanting to get the 11 best players on the field, is that a look that could possibly be used in other down at distances, maybe not necessarily passing situations?
Possibly, but not necessarily. I mean, some of the things that we do on third down are a little unique and different. You're not counting on them to run the football, so you may not be as sound in the run, but you're trying to get after the quarterback and affect the quarterback. So some of the things that we do like that are specific to third downs and wouldn't necessarily do on first or second down.
And I guess along those lines, I know defensive line is not necessarily your area, but just as an observer of the way Joey plays, I think he's known for the way he gets after the quarterback. How would you assess him as a guy who gets after it in the run game?
I mean, he gets after it in both the run game and the pass game, and whether he shows up on the statistics with having sacks or tackles, he's affecting the game because an offense has to account for where he's at. He's getting a lot of slide protection. Offenses are sliding their protection to him, where he's not getting a one-on-one. A lot of times they're trying to chip him with a back or a tight end in protection also, or trying to down block him from a guy on the outside on certain things. So he's making an offense work to do things slightly different to eliminate him from the game. So he may not show up on the stats all the time with a lot of tackles or sacks, but he's changing the game because of it.
Is there a way he's better on the inside? Is it maybe easier at all for him to get to the quarterback when he's lined up inside?
No, it just depends on the team.
You mentioned Eric Smith is banged up. Could he play this week? Is it anything serious, Chris?
I don't know yet. I mean, he was banged up at the end of the game, and just like anything with injuries, we'll know more tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Chris, y'all started rolling Vaughn up a little bit, taking on the slot guy, it looked like at Indiana and things. He talked about that. Is that something that will continue, through this season, or was that an emergency kind of thing? Or
no, it wasn't an emergency thing at all. Vaughn is an unbelievable coverage safety, and Vaughn can play man-to-man. Vaughn can play slot. He could go press a receiver if we wanted him to, and we do what we need to do each week to try to take away what an offense does best, and if that's to roll him up and play man on the slot, we will. If it's to keep him back and play some zone, we will. But with him, we have the flexibility to do either.
I was going to say, it gives you flexibility in that nickel kind of situation, right? I mean,
absolutely.
And Christian Heckenberg would never be mistaken for Perry Hills, from a running standpoint. How do you correct kind of what's kind of happened the last 2 weeks, but last week especially, but then move on to how much time do you spend, I guess, correcting something that probably you won't see this week?
Well, you've got to go through and you look at a couple things when something like that happens. One, is there schematic issues that you've got to get fixed? Yeah. Is there mental understanding of what you need to get done by individuals, and you've got to get it fixed? Or
there's
a combination of all that, or was it just an individual that made an unbelievable play?
Yeah.
Because that happens too when they're on scholarship, and there's a combination of all three of those things that we've got to make sure that as we move forward, one, that we've got a sound scheme, the players understand what we expect them to do in each call, and we try to negate or limit big plays by an exceptional player.
And are you concerned, as you sit here right now, what's your main concern about this defense as you head into the second half of the season? the last two, like you pointed out. I mean, the rushing yards have kind of come from strange sources.
Yeah, well, they come from the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the stats, the tailback, we've done a great job of stopping the tailbacks in the run game. We've got to do a better job. And the Indiana one has nothing to do with it. We missed a tackle, and we lost leverage. Is that acceptable? Absolutely not, because that's what we base ourselves on, our ability to tackle and leverage the ball, and it got out on us last week. It was more about just dropping back and the quarterback scrambling as much as anything else. Indiana's was a designed quarterback run, but moving forward, our defense is based on effort, execution, and fundamentals. And as long as we can see those three things showing up on film, then we keep moving forward. If one of those three things is missing, we got to stop, press pause, and we got to find out why.
When it comes to the unique third down looks you kind of show opposing offenses, how has that kind of developed throughout your career, and how do you kind of come up with some of these looks?
Well, I mean, it's all about getting to the quarterback, and one of the ways you get to the quarterback is trying to create confusion for an offensive line and the quarterback on the different looks that he's going to see. So, we have consistent things that we do, and each week we'll pop in some new things to try to create a little bit of confusion, put different players in different spots that we want to feature, and attack protections too. If we get a beat on how offenses are protecting the quarterback that we can take advantage of, then we want to try to do that on defense.
Hey Chris, as far as Hackenberg goes, I think the book on him is that he's maybe even better than his numbers indicate that he is. When you look at him on film, I guess, what do you see in him?
I see a very confident quarterback, a guy that can can really make all the throws, short throws, down the field throws. He can throw the field out to the field, down the field with big shot plays. I mean, he's got a strong arm. When you look at his numbers, is it necessarily because of the quarterback? They've for whatever reason had a number of drops also, so it may not look favorable for the quarterback stats, but he's making some really good throws. He's making some really good deep throws, short throws, and for whatever reason, every now and then a ball may be dropped by a receiver or tight end or something like that. That's not necessarily the quarterback's fault, because he's throwing pretty good balls.
Coach, thank you very much.
Yep.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it, man.